Everything that removes itself from your life will make space for something new to enter. My name is Minnie, and I'm 29 years young. I've lost count of how many times I've had to explain how on earth I ended up in the middle of the countryside. But this is the story of how I ended up becoming a beekeeper in the middle of the Swedish countryside. I've gone from faraway traveller in Australia to fast-paced fashion life in London as a student at London College of Fashion. In 2020, I decided to pack up all my belongings and leave London behind, because there was just no way I was going to put up with lockdowns. I moved back to Sweden, where I ended up staying with my parents for a few months before I ended up finding my own place. This change of lifestyle was really hard for me, as I at that point felt truly at home in London. I had my friends, I had my flat, I had my life, my vision. Even though I knew it was the right choice to move back to Sweden, I was devastated by the change. My independent life and vision was crumbling, and I felt like I was too. I started looking for my own place to live, and luckily I found a perfect little spot in Gothenburg, which would become my home for the next 4 years. I had no job at the time that I signed the papers for my new flat. And as I'd been a student, I didn't have much money. So I really needed to find a job, and I needed to find it quickly. I applied for so many jobs, and it didn't seem like anything was happening. But then one day I found a really odd-looking job listing. It just said something along the lines of seeking someone to help me with various things for my honey business, with a phone number. So I sent a text message saying that I was interested, and the next morning I got a call where an elderly man invited me for an interview. The next day, I went for the interview and I left with the job. For a little over 3 years, I helped this elderly man keep his honey business going. I really enjoyed working for him, and he taught me so much about running a business and pretty much everything I needed to know about honey. As the years passed, we discussed the potential of me taking over the business, as he didn't have any children of his own to pass it on to. He ended up passing away before we had anything in writing, and I was really sad that everything we had built together would once again crumble. A few weeks after I'd found out that he had passed away, my mum called me and told me she'd met a retiring couple who were looking for someone to rent their house in the middle of the Swedish countryside. I was pretty hesitant at first, but I decided that I should at least go and see it, because I had started to visualize a life closer to nature, and I was really running out of space in my studio flat. When I saw the wallpaper in one of the rooms, I knew right away that this was meant to be. Lilacs are my favorite flowers. Then a few days later, my mum calls me again. This time, she'd met an older man who had been a beekeeper for many years who wanted to downsize his beekeeping. He needed someone to take 3 of his colonies, and so my mum asked me if I wanted them. It was an obvious yes. Though I had worked with honey before, I didn't have any experience handling the actual bees. As you can imagine, I was a little bit worried about how on earth I was going to be able to take care of all these thousands of bees without any prior knowledge. The old beekeeper gave me a book and he told me to stick to that and not be too easily influenced by what other beekeepers recommend, because everyone has different opinions on what to do. And I think that piece of advice can be applied to many things in life. It's great to hear what other people think and to get perspective on things, but it's so important to not ignore your own voice and to be able to listen to yourself. Bees are so fascinating, and in the relatively short time that I've had them, I've learned so much. I can see, hear, and even smell when they're distressed, angry, or calm. Within the bee colony, there's different roles. There's the worker bees, there's the drones, and there's the queen. Each bee is crucial to the survival of the colony, and throughout the worker bee's lifetime, it takes on different roles depending on where they are in their life cycle. All the worker bees, which are female, go from housekeeping to wax producing to guarding the entrance of the hive, and eventually they are promoted the role of pollen and nectar collectors. The pollen and nectar is essential for the egg-laying queen and her baby bees, and a queen can lay up to 2,000 eggs in one day. That's pretty cool. The pollen and nectar is collected from flowers and plants within a 4-kilometer radius from the hive, which they then bring back to the hive and process into the substance that we know as honey. Us humans have a lot to learn from the bees, like working together with nature. Flowers and plants are beautiful, but they have so much more to offer than just their looks and beauty. Since living here, I've started to make my own floral infusions from flowers and plants that grow around the area and in my garden. I could have never imagined myself doing this 10 years ago, but now that I'm here, it just makes sense, and I really love my life. There's something magical about these surroundings. The silence enables me to really hear myself, and the wide open views offers perspective. And the surrounding nature is a constant reminder that I'm part of something so much bigger than just myself. And I feel so grateful for how my life has turned out because it's given me something entirely different to anything that I've ever experienced before, but now it makes total sense. When I was a little girl, we would go to the forest a lot with my family. Even on wet and cold days, Mom and Dad would take me and my younger brothers out to the forest. Sometimes we would have what is called a fika in the forest, which is a moment where we take a break, often with tea, coffee, cake, or sandwich, and we just chat and sit and enjoy the moment. There's videos of me as a little girl in the forest picking mushrooms, and it's so clear that already then I had this genuine curiosity for nature and the world around me.
His basket now, shall we? Shall we see if we should take all that home now and eat it? That's quite a bit, isn't it, Max?
You could put a few more in there.
You can.
Drop them in. There we go. Oh.
Max, no. I can carry it. Fine.
Carry it. Will you be able to carry it?
Oh.
If you carry it, we're all going to have to help you pick it up.
Minnie, I think Pop Pop should carry that, my love.
We live in a world with so many distractions, and it's so easy to get lost in the noise. I'm not saying you need to live out in the middle of nowhere. I don't even know how long I'll be here myself. But what I do know is that the stillness in nature here has really helped me to realize that the gentle whisper is my inner truth, and that if I learn to trust it, it will guide me through life.
Can I go forward now?
Okay, Minnie?
Where are you? There you are. Well done.
Pop Pop, can you take Minnie's boots off for her, please? Are you hot, Minnie?
When I work on my honey projects, I sometimes play podcasts on topics I want to learn more about. Other times I enjoy working to some really groovy music, and other times I even sit in complete silence, which can be very meditative. For me, filling the jars and ensuring that the labels sit nice and straight is a creative process which I can get lost in for hours without noticing the time flying by. And it's the same when I paint or draw.
You're going to start with Leela? Or what you put the gold out for then?
Men Daddy, tänk om jag inte...
But which colour are you going to start with?
Lila.
Right, so
My
pick out
parents
Leela then.
always made sure that my brothers and I had what we needed to feed our creativity. Both of my parents are creatives, and I'm so grateful that this has been passed on to me.
Oh, Minnie.
Both are lovely.
Oh, well, they're beautiful stripes.
Jättefint. Ni har gjort så fint båda två. Vad ska det vara där då?
With my move, I also ended up closer to my family, which I'm so happy about.
We had something like that today with ice cream on it.
såg det såg
And
väldigt
sprinkled
sött ut.
chocolate and syrup and it was so sticky and runny and
We loved it.
yeah.
Every family has their ups and downs, but I feel so fortunate to have such an open, warm, welcoming family with beautiful memories that we've made together.
It's ringing.
Is it ringing?
Yeah.
Is it the telephone?
It's for you.
Is it for you?
Yeah.
Oh, it's for me.
It's
Hello.
The opportunities that I've had to experience different ways of life through traveling and moving has definitely broadened my perspective on life, and it's allowed me to see beyond my own perceptions of reality. Each new environment that I immerse myself in will bring me valuable lessons as long as I can keep my mind open. Not only do I learn new things about my surroundings, I also learn new things about myself. I know that change can be both painful and sad, but what can be more sad than staying the same your whole life? There will be moments in life where you just need to take a leap of faith and trust that the path you land on is part of your journey. My biggest life lesson so far has been that nothing in life is permanent. Life is constantly changing, and each change brings growth. And eventually, you realize that you're capable of doing anything that you set your mind to. You just need to believe in yourself.